How's everybody doing? Tinkering with Harleys. First, I want to thank everybody who is subscribed. And if you watch these videos and you enjoy them, by all means, please subscribe. Now, this is my second shot or second try at this video. I started doing it and I had a customer come in and I had to stop doing the video. And when I started redoing the video, operator error, I put the camera on, but it was on snapshot, not on record. And when I caught it, I put it back on record. So you're going to miss some of the things about taking this cam chest apart, because that's what we're doing today. What I normally do when I take an engine apart, I usually take the lifter blocks out and then I take the lifters out and inspect them. That you're going to miss because it was on snapshot when I turned it back on. But the lifters were brand new that I took out of here. And I mean, when you take the cam plate out, you don't have to take the lifters out. You can hold them in place. There's a tool that you can get, or you can use a big paper clip, which will hold them up. I find it easier to take them out. That way, when you slip the cam plate out with the cams, you don't have the lifters dropping down into it. So you're not going to be able to see me take the lifters out of there. And certain parts of taking the timing gear, the timing gear and the pinion gear and the chain off, it went back to snapshot because I was doing this in between working on, or not working on, but dealing with customers. So it's not the video that I wanted to show, but what I did get out, I wanted to put up. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll get right to it. Okay, now we're going to get the timing gear off of here and get the cam plate out, look at the cam and the oil pump and all that stuff. And you can see here, there's a hole right there, and there's a hole there. And then you take this little pin and you put it in there. We've got our little specialized tool. You don't need to have this. You can do this with a vice grip or a channel locks. But I've done so many of these, I've got them. So you just turn it like that, and then you wiggle that through, get it through both holes. And we're not there yet. There we go. That's it. Now all the tension is off of there. And you can see the wear on that. Okay, now we're going to move the engine back a little bit so I got a little bit more room to work. Now you can see the timing marks. Here's one here, and there'll be one under here. It's covered up right now, but it's there. If you're going to be reusing this chain, the first thing you want to do before you take anything off is mark the chain. So what I usually do, because I don't know if this chain's, I'm assuming the chain's new, but I couldn't swear to it. I take a little marker and I'll mark that so I know it's outside. So if this chain is reused, the outside is always the same way. The chain won't be flowing a different way. The next thing we do is we take this tool right here and we stick it in there. So now we're going to take the cam plate out. Now, these 4 bolts here, we're not going to take out. These hold the oil pump in. So we're going to leave those alone. And we get this off of here, and we can get a look and see what the cams look like. All these bolts look to be new. The one thing I've noticed with this motor is most of the bolts that are in there are used, and they weren't cleaned before they were put back in. They weren't rethreaded or anything. Just looking at the Loctite that's on it and the crud and the rust and things that are on there, they were not cleaned off before they were reinstalled. And when I do a motor, every nut and bolt gets cleaned. I use a tap and die to clean off the threads on everything. So anything that's reused that isn't new, you have nice clean threads that way on everything. You don't have any rust, and there was a lot of rust on a lot of these bolts. And I don't like that. I'm kind of funny that way. Well, and one thing I got to do after I get all this apart, I got to take a run out on this and see what the pinion shaft is running out at. You know, because when I go to rebuild this, rather than use the chain, the timing chain, I want to use gears. I like the gears better than the chain. But the tolerance on these is very low. And when Harley built these motors, I think they allow up to 10 thousandths of run out for the motor. But if you're going to go with a gear drive, it can't be any more than 3 thousandths run out. So I got to take and I got to measure all that. And one more, and then we can pull this out of here and see what we got. And you take the lifters out first, for the simple reason when you pull this plate out, if the lifters are still in there, they're going to drop down and they're going to keep you from pulling this out. Now here we go. We'll get this loose. There it is. And there is the camshafts. There's the cam tensioner right there. That's your oil pump. You've got O-rings here. There's a screen up in here. That's really important that you get all this stuff back in together. Let's see. Everything looks fairly good in there. Let's check the cams here. Yeah, these cams are new. These camshafts are brand new. I don't feel or see any high spots on them or low spots. So there's very little mileage on these. And that's a brand new oil pump that's in there. And let's take a look. I'm guessing the needle bearings in there are new also. Yeah, they are needle bearings, and they're good needle bearings. They're not the crap needle bearings that they were putting in here. when they first put these motors together, that I'm sure many of you have heard about the disasters with the needle bearings coming out and running through the oil pump and destroying the motor. But it looks like new bearings throughout. So this is a good thing. So more surprises. So I think that's going to do it for today. I want to thank you all for watching. And I hope this video helps somebody. And until next time, everybody be safe out there.